Hi, it's Cory, and today we're talking about practice journals and how to create one for yourself to improve your ukulele playing. Today, I'm going to give you a couple different examples of what a practice journal is, how to use it, and also how to set one up for yourself so you can start 2021 or whenever. It doesn't have to be at the start of the new year that you can start using a practice journal, because I guarantee you it's going to hugely improve your playing. In case you didn't know, I went to school for music education and vocal music. I'm going to grad school right now for teaching and learning. And in all of these times and all of my different experiences being a teacher as well as a musician, I can't tell you how important it is to journal your progress so you can look back upon it, but also just think more purposefully about how you're playing and how you're spending your time. I'd love to tell you that I was able to figure out all this stuff right away, but that's not the case. I had to learn it over a long period of time, so please learn from my mistakes and do better. I spent a lot of time, especially in college, practicing, but not really practicing purposefully. I spent probably the first 3 years of my college experience, really working hard in practice rooms and trying to perfect my musicianship, and I really didn't have a lot to show for it. Then starting about the end of my junior year, for some reason it just clicked and I was able to start keeping practice journals. I started analyzing my playing and basically doing all the things I should have been doing my entire college experience, but only just then. Once I started doing this, it was game changing for me and my musicianship hugely improved. I did a lot better in my classes, not that I was doing poorly, but it was just so much more purposeful that I remembered everything I was working on a lot better because I was structuring it in a really meaningful way. The first thing I'm going to talk about is just a standard music practice journal that is like a pre-created one. This is the musician's practice journal. I will make sure to link it down below. You can get it on Amazon and it's not very expensive, but basically inside is just a standard template that goes weekly. So the idea is that not that you have to practice every single day, but the idea is that you are practicing quite frequently and you put like your weekly focus or your goal of some sort, and then you write down what you've actually practiced. Now in this particular one, what I think is really great about it is it's blank, so you can use it at any different time. It also provides little areas where you can write notes, just lined notes, but then it also provides some staff lines down here, so in case you needed to write down some musical ideas, you could. Now this could be adapted more specifically to the ukulele. If you wanted to write tabs down here, you could just ignore one of the lines and then write it in for the ukulele, or also you could use some of the free space to like write down different chord charts or anything else that you want to be practicing. If you're a member of my Patreon community, you will actually have access to some pre-generated practice logs that I made specifically for the ukulele, where it's all laid out for you, where you just can fill it in, especially if you're somebody that maybe needs a little bit more guidance on what to do with your practice, which again is a totally normal thing. It took me 3 years where I was literally just going to school to learn how to do this. If you need some extra guidance on that, those sheets would be a really good tool for you to use, and like I said, they are available on my Patreon, so if you are a member of that community, you already have access to them, and if you're not and you want to check it out, the link will be down in the description box. For anyone else that either doesn't want to use the pre-created templates, doesn't want to order a specific practice book, if you want to be able to create a practice journal for yourself, all you need is a notebook. It doesn't matter what notebook you use, you can literally use anything, but I'm going to take you in and show you actually how I set up my practice journal, how I use it, and I will give you some examples of how you'd actually fill it out so it's really purposeful and meaningful to you.
So all I'm doing here is setting up my journal. So I'm just reminding myself of what SMART goals means. And if you're not familiar, it's to make a goal that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. After I do that, I make sure to write what my particular goal for the day is. So on that day, it might be chords or a lick I'm working on, or maybe strumming as well. I would then also add any diagrams I might need. That would include a chord diagram, a tab diagram for a lick, or I would write down a strumming pattern. So the one I have here is just for a classic down, down, down strumming pattern. Now, if I wanted to be more specific and I was working on a specific song, I might actually make a number of chord diagrams, write out the strumming pattern for the particular song, and you can see here I'm using the same type of techniques that I also talk about in my Let's Play series, where I have the subdivision and the counting evident in my diagrams. As an example, I'm going to take the song Last Christmas. If you're interested in learning how to play this, I do have a full tutorial for it. It's super easy and it's really fun. So I'm gonna write out here what my actual goal is, and it's to be able to play through the entire song without stopping with my strumming pattern. My next step would be to write out any chords I'm working with, having their chord charts evident there, and then I'm also labeling them so I make sure I know. If you're not familiar with the fingering that you need for the individual chord charts, make sure to have that, but if you already know it, don't worry. I'm then also going to write out the strumming pattern for the song. I like to add the counting and the more simplified version of using the downs and ups. And then I'm gonna write out the progression, or really any patterns that you see in the song. I'm just kind of going through it, and even though I'm not playing it, I'm looking at the form of the song, the structure, how the interludes follow various choruses. That way I'm still having a really good idea of what I'm gonna be playing and when I'm gonna be playing. And then I can just put whatever general notes I need, like if there's a really tricky transition, or things that I can remember to make my transitions a little bit easier too. I also always put down the duration I'm practicing as well. I like to color code, and then I'm going to color code my actual lead sheet as well. So this is just the lead sheet I use for my songs. All of my lead sheets are available on my Patreon if you're interested as well, and then I color code them. There's a number of different ways you can do things here. As you can see, use whatever way works best for you.
I hope you found this helpful and valuable, and I really hope you take advantage of starting a practice journal. Like I said, it doesn't have to be at the start of New Year. It could be at any time that you really want to improve your musicianship and your overall ukulele playing. I guarantee you, while it might take a little bit extra time, you will not regret starting a practice journal, and you're gonna be so proud of yourself when you can physically see all the progress you've made. In addition to actually just writing things down is a study habit and a way that you can learn. So especially if you're somebody that's read-write oriented, or that's like your preferred learning style, this would be really valuable for you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you set up a practice journal yourself, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to know what things that you're learning or what you're finding have been really helpful for you, because somebody else might find it really beneficial too. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.